This is a microphone check for the Bloomington live stream.
Test.
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
Good, Gary. How are you?
Hey, Adam. Sorry, what?
Couple housekeeping items.
Okay,
Right there.
yeah, do that. I've been here many times.
Maybe they-
Speaking podium's there.
When is there, you will monitor the date.
They got a timer, yeah.
The timer's right there.
Okay.
You just gotta give your- like in the county.
All right, so many posts.
Right.
You
They
monitor
don't touch
that,
that, yeah.
And then they're not presenting.
I know that.
Suspend people from that.
So,
These people that get from it, we're trying to make
I changed it.
right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The one I can change.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, I'm aware of all that. So what I'm gonna do, tonight, for the spirit of trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. See, we have a lot of presenters, and
Keep that the mic.
we'll keep adding it because we want to have, more information.
Table.
So at the beginning, tell presenters, if you have a general question, okay, if you have a person, you need to go to one presenter, I need to talk to them back, so hopefully that'll help. And the other thing is,
All these procedures.
yeah, because, see, we didn't used to have all that was a lot of it was myself and other people on the back, we were asking, well, how about these guys, Because we wanted to get more information, be more like a city, and of course, it should be a city, you're getting this information all month long, you're not getting it in one go, just like we are,
They're all coming. The other thing that you should do is look at the. Supervisor.
Good.
But.
Oh, okay.
The chief of staff is.
I mean,
Oh, it's gonna be here.
It's gonna be here, make a short one-minute presentation.
Great,
So he just told me about. it,
okay,
so-
because one of the things that we don't have on there, we used to have this, we got a spot for the supervisor office.
That should be
You don't
button
mind-
testing.
You don't mind picking that up first?
You go wherever you want to go.
Yeah, pick them up first.
Yeah. But why don't you guys just add the supervisor's office?
We will.
And then, you got nothing, you got nothing. Fair enough. Okay, cool.
It goes on, it goes on and on. Anyone wants to talk?
Yes, I did, they're in my
Yeah.
truck.
For example, that's Larry's light.
Yeah.
The one that's hanging?
Yeah.
Larry, turn it off. So Larry wants to talk, he doesn't
Want
want
to
to.
just go old school? or-
Yeah, you can do old school, but that's just in case.
Okay, so I'm supposed to, I guess I'm supposed to, I'm the 3-minute man.
So the timer?
Or somebody can just give me that. Hey, Ed.
Just use this one.
Right, okay, great. Hey, can you let me get one so I can see that? Does it have a thing on it?
This thing was on Noah's Ark. Yeah. Teresa. Anywhere you want.
But I got, I went to get that. That's why I want to be on the side over here. I want to be on the side here. No, I want to be here.
These are all live.
It should be all done.
Do they stay live?
Gary, right?
Yeah.
David. So I just got a call from somebody that was up at district office at 12 Valencia. I guess some information went out that this event was taking place boardroom 12
Yeah,
Valencia.
yeah. It was incorrect. That's why there were going to be a presentation for a development project, and because
Right.
the information, what happened was a miscommunication between the supervisor's office and the people that were going to put it on. Apparently, they called the supervisor's office to get the address. They didn't get a response, so they
They
defaulted to Valencia, and that's why they're not coming tonight, because they've got to have the correct public notification. They had free notice. So that's how that went down.
So the person that just called me right now told me that they gave me direction how to get here, and apparently the people aren't too happy about it. Whatever. I mean, I'm not just letting you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So, yep.
Here's a switch.
Oh.
Just remember, if you want to test it, just talk into it directly.
So forwards on.
And then the lights will say.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're probably just go old school and just, there's not that many of us. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so we'll just tell her that you're.
Oh, there it is.
Are you all set?
On the one underneath.
Teresa and,
Just talk directly to the mic.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
the ladies know where the switch is?
Okay.
Nobody's ever done
Should be a separate one here.
And then this is the one,
And
to
that'll
let him know.
the chair. Or we can just say, excuse me, vice chair.
Yeah, and you know, they got a thing, but if you guys don't mind, I'm just.
Oh, that's fine.
That's
fine.
Ain't nobody gonna sit next to you?
We'll get one of these and go like this, Gary.
Is it okay to let the secret out?
What?
It's your birthday.
No.
You
Yes, no,
today?
yes. Yes,
Yeah.
thank
'Cause I
you.
was gonna say something. I was gonna say something at the beginning about it. Since it's your birthday, you have the honor of reading us some pledge of allegiance.
Oh,
Is that
no,
okay?
no, I don't want to do
You don't
pledge
want that spot?
allegiance. No.
You can tell her about her birthday.
I don't want to be put on that spot, I'm serious.
Okay, I don't get in any more trouble.
Oh.
You guys are like, hey, it's okay. I don't have to yell. It's okay.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
Good, my friend.
You got something?
I did.
Do you need a microphone?
I'm good, I can share.
We share.
Because I can bring down over there here.
Sure, I can share if I need to talk.
There's open seats over there.
We're so used to it. We're together all day long.
I'm that student that likes to give back.
I said,
Point me
"This
out.
think I have bad breath or something." I said, "Well, sit down." I mean,
Hello.
Good. Yeah, he's good. Hi. Oh, okay. Okay, we'll just sit over there. Sure. That's what we get. No, it's because the camera, the way the camera is. Huh? Yeah.
Who's taking these? Who's taking these?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Bloomington Municipal Advisory Council meeting of Wednesday, September 1st, 2021 to order. And thank you for all your attendance this evening. And Teresa, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Madeline, I believe, can you call the roll, please, members? Here.
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 Okay, we have a quorum. Thank you. Our next item of business is introduction of dignitaries. Do we have any elected officials or people in the audience representing elected officials here this evening? Okay. I see Greg Young, West Valley Water Board member. Israel Fuentes, Colt Joint Unified School District Board member. Any other elected officials or field reps? Okay, seeing none, we'll move along to the approval of minutes from August 4th, 2021. Any comments or motion? Okay. Okay, we have a first from Teresa and second by Angela. We have the roll call vote, please. Or by consensus? By consensus, okay. Do we have any opposition? Everyone's in agreement, okay. Thank you very much. The minutes are approved. Okay, moving along to agency staff reports. And our first presenter tonight will be from Supervisor Baca's office, Chief of Staff Ed Chavez. And before we get started on the agency staff, I'd like to tell the audience we've added a lot of representatives over the last several years because we wanted you to get as much information as you can get. But as part of that, it's made the meetings run longer and longer. So if you have general questions of any presenter this evening, you're welcome to bring those general questions before the MAC and ask your questions. If it's a personnel issue or personal issue that you have, something specific, I would ask that you meet with the presenters after they make their presentation, either at the back or outside. That will help us facilitate a more organized meeting. So with that, Ed, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you, and good evening. My name's Ed Chavez. I'm the Chief of Staff for Supervisor Joe Baca Jr. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the MAC committee, and also the members of the Bloomington community. The supervisor asked me to just briefly go over a couple of points, some of the items that he has been working on. So for the Bloomington community as a whole, we're happy to report that on August 28th, that the Bloomington was introduced to its new Bloomington Sheriff's Vehicle with 2 new deputies serving our local neighborhood. And on September 14th, a new all-way stop signs will be installed at the intersection of Santa Ana and Cactus to help mitigate any accidents that have occurred in the past. With regards to parks, we have two parks that we care about. Ayala Park. So Ayala Park, we're happy to report that we'll be having our grand opening near November if everything goes right. Then Kessler Park, we have set November 20th as a day to honor Gary Mendoza. There's a B right there. Gary Mendoza with a monument and a bench, along with honoring three other local athletes that have made their way through Bloomington with community benches as well. And then if you could look at this screen, this is one of three slides. This is Kessler Park. We're happy to report that work has begun to add infield grass on field 2 for the Little Leaguers to play on. So those are some of the improvements that the supervisor is working on, and there's many, many more to come. With that, should you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. If not, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. MAC members, do we have any questions for Ed? Okay, seeing none, Ed, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out this evening, update the community. Okay, our next presentation is regarding the current situation of COVID-19 in the county of San Bernardino. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Josh Dugas. I'm the Director of Public Health, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of what's going on with COVID-19, and I'll be here for any questions afterwards. So next slide, please. So you can see here, this is the total case numbers for our county, a little under 325,000 cases so far. I want to show you on right below that, the adjusted case rate. Back in June, about June 15th, that case rate was at about 1.5. It's at about 28. On there, it says 28.8. I ran the numbers just before I came, and it's down to about 27.5. So we've seen a steady increase since June. However, over the last week or so, we're cautiously optimistic that we've seen a leveling and a actual decrease in that case rate. Another number of note is our testing number. Back in June, we were doing about 150 per 100,000. We're up to 555 per 100,000. So a lot more people are getting tested also. Next slide, please. If you watch the news, this probably goes without saying, but our primary cases that we're identifying now are the Delta variant. This is total variants detected, but over the last 4 weeks, it's been 100% Delta when we've sequenced different samples. Next slide, please. This is Bloomington specific. You can see that there's about 6,600 cases, 93 deaths, total tests, there's a whole lot. The positivity rate here is 21.6, but in areas like Bloomington, these numbers are a little skewed because with the smaller population and limited number of tests, a few positives can skew that number very high. So that's probably a little, that and the adjusted case rate below are probably influenced by the limited number of tests as opposed to the actual prevalence of virus here, but still everyone be careful. Next slide, please. This is just a reminder that if you aren't vaccinated or you know anyone that's not vaccinated, they can go to our website or they can call our call center at 909-387-3911, and we'll be happy to help them get an appointment and get them vaccinated. Next slide, please. This is total vaccinations countywide. You can see we've gone over almost 1.1 million people. About 60, that number I checked it right before I came, 60.9%, so just about 61% of people in the county have at least one shot. 52.5% are fully vaccinated, and those numbers are steadily increasing every week. So I want to again encourage everyone that if you're not vaccinated, to please consider doing so. Next slide, please. So in the zip code 92316, you can see that your numbers are actually better than the county as a whole. 62.9% of people have at least one shot, and 53% are fully vaccinated. If you go to the next slide, this is where the small numbers kind of comes into play. Bloomington is amazing in the sense that they have an extra 18.8% of people vaccinated over 100%. What that means is that people have either moved here or on the previous census. These numbers are based off of ESRI and census data and averaged out. So in smaller populations, slight differences can have a major impact, but what it does show is that the citizens of Bloomington, a great deal of them are vaccinated, and that's a very good thing. Next slide, please. I just put the slide up here because I want to stress one of the things we focus on in San Bernardino County and in the Department of Public Health is ensuring equitable disbursement of vaccines. The state has divided divided things up into 4 quartiles: 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 being the most affluent areas, and 1 being lowest. We have a number of quartile 1 and quartile 2 areas in our county, and we have focused to make sure that we get just as many doses in those areas as others. So next slide, please. Recent news: Pfizer has received full FDA approval. That's for 16 and over. The 12 to 16 group is still not fully FDA approved, but we anticipated it will be relatively soon. And we also anticipate in the relatively near future, maybe a month, 2 months, or even 3 months, that these will probably be approved for children under 12, 2 to 12, probably. Moderna will probably be following up relatively soon with a full FDA approval. And just like when the vaccines were released, Johnson & Johnson will probably be a few months behind that as the FDA continues to review the data. Next slide, please. Booster shots are currently available for those with that are immunocompromised. So if you know anyone or you are immunocompromised, I encourage you to come, for Pfizer, come to one of our sites. But if you go on the county website, you can find a list of all of our providers throughout the county, what vaccine they have, and make sure you get the right one and get your booster shot. We also anticipate, you can see at the bottom there, there's been some talk from President Biden and Health and Human Services on a federal level that September 20th may be the rollout date for boosters for the rest of the population. There's talk between whether people are going to get them 5 months after their last shot or 8 months after their last shot. We don't have details on that, but we'll continue to update our website and update people as we get more details. These boosters will only apply to the mRNA vaccines, which are the Pfizer and Moderna, not the Johnson & Johnson at this time. Next slide, please. And this is just a little bit more information. Severely immunocompromised or moderately immunocompromised, and you can kind of read some of those conditions up there. But just to let you know, pretty much every site is self-attestation. So if someone shows up, we're not going to ask you for any proof. We'll just trust that you're there for the right reasons, and we'll issue you that shot. Next slide, please. This is just the common reminder: wash your hands. I see a lot of people have masks on. Cover your masks or wear your masks when you're indoors. Maintain physical distancing wherever you can. And if you're sick, stay home. I will say, one thing I like to say to everyone is that sick people get other people sick. So if you are sick, stay home and protect those around you. So next slide. I think that's it. That's it. So I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has them. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, just real quick, any questions from the MAC? Okay, one quick one. I get questions sometimes about, we still have a facility at Ayala Park, is that correct, for vaccinations in Bloomington?
Yeah, we do. I don't think we've shut that down yet. Yeah, so,
Okay.
and we're not looking to either.
Okay, and that is, so if people go to Ayala Park, a lot of times they go because they think they're already sick, unfortunately, but if they go there and they can get a test as well, or just vaccinated?
So at all of our sites now, we have both vaccinations and testing. So walk-ins are available. So whatever gets you there the easiest, if you make an appointment, that'll ensure it's a little bit smoother. But if you don't, we'll still get you through very quickly and make sure you're taken care of.
Okay, and what type? The other question I always get is what type of time frame if they go to Ayala Park for a test? When is it a rapid response, or is it several days, or what can they expect?
So we don't use rapid tests. They're not quite as accurate. They're good, but they're not quite as accurate. Our test results a week ago were taking a little bit less than 24 hours. With the huge influx of tests that a lot of laboratories are seeing, it could take up to 3 days, but we're usually much quicker than that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mac. Larry?
So the question was, in case you couldn't hear, are booster shots available at Yellow Park? Yes, all of our sites will offer booster shots, appointment or walk-in. But the caveat is we only have Pfizer there. So if someone received the Moderna, they won't be able to get it at our site.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate your
problem.
time. Thank you for coming out. Our next presenter is CHP. We have a rep here from the California Highway Patrol. Okay. Okay, seeing none, we'll move along to our next presenter, state legislative update. I'm assuming that would be one of the field reps, Senator Leyva or Assemblymember Reyes. Okay. All right. Next up is the Sheriff's Department. I can see you guys here. Good evening, fellas.
Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? Sergeant Ruiz with the Fontana Sheriff Station. We just came from Cedar and 11th. All the highway patrol guys are out there. One of their officers was assaulted, so we're giving him a hand. He's okay. We're actively looking for the person responsible for it, which we will find out soon. So I'm going to start off with the monthly stats for the month of August, and then I'll touch up on a couple of cases I feel are important for you guys. And if you guys have any other questions related to the Fontana Station, I have Deputy Rodriguez back there. He is going to be the new Bloomington deputy during the week. And Deputy Dominguez is our school resource officer. If you guys have any questions for them as well, okay? All right, so these are the stats for the month of August from August 1st to the 31st. For the month of August, we had a grand total of 1,090 calls for service. So I'm going to break these down into some of the main ones that you guys can understand. Traffic stops, we had 98 of those school visits that Deputy Dominguez handled. He had about 58 of those. Subject checks, 37. Area checks, 36. Vehicle checks, 34. Alarm calls, 31. Extra patrol calls for our station, 30. Disturbance music calls, 29. Welfare checks, 28. Assist other agencies or departments, 17. Unknown problems, 17. Trespassing calls, 16. Transient calls, 13. Keep the peace calls, 12. Warrant arrest calls, 12. Fireworks related calls, we're still getting those, 12. Subject causing disturbances, 11. Domestic disturbances, 10. Grand theft auto just occurred, 10 of those. Assault with weapons, 9. Fire assisted calls, 9. Indecent exposure calls, 8. Psychiatric evaluation calls, 8. Shots heard calls, 8. Child Protective Services investigation, 7. Vandalism calls, 7. Commercial burglary, 6. Party disturbances, 6. Theft investigations, 5. Domestic battery, 5. Grand theft investigations, 5. Criminal threat investigations, 5. Violation of court order investigations, 5. Animal related problems, 4. Unknown disturbance calls, 4. Special event calls, 4. Unwanted subject calls, 4. Absent without leave calls from group homes, 3. Civil issues, 3. Drunk in public calls, 3. Found property, 3. We're getting a lot of those types of calls lately with people finding pistols in their yard, stuff like that. Adult Protective Services investigations, 2. Attempted murder investigations, 2. Drug overdose investigations, 2. So now we have a new section from the Narcotics Division. Any death that is drug related, they have their own investigators, and they're starting to go after the people responsible for it. So that's something new that's working out well for us. A lot of the fentanyl that they're mixing in these street drugs, and it's getting in there, and it's killing a lot of young people. Very sad. Let's see. Narcotic activity related calls, 2. Missing persons, 2. Possession of dangerous weapons investigations, 2. Rapes, 2. Reckless driving, 2. Brandishing weapons, 1. Elderly abuse, 1. Found narcotics, 1. Identity theft investigations, 1. Man with a gun, 1. Missing juveniles, 1. And stalking investigations, 1. So as you can see, it's been a busy month for us, not to mention the assaults on officers that we had to respond to in San Bernardino when some of our deputies got hit. Deputy's a young deputy. He's gonna be okay. We're getting a lot of calls where we do traffic stops, and before you know it, the fight's on. So it's very, very tough for us. We're coming across a lot of weapons that you might have heard of them. They're called P80s, polymer 80s. They're these handguns and assault rifles that people are making that don't have serial numbers, and it's very hard to track them. So we're getting a lot of those. Last week, we got tied up at the Lido Creek fire. So we had minutes before we had to get up there and figure out how we're going to evacuate 700 residents with a road that only has one way in and out. So we branched out to other agencies, Fontana PD, and we got it done. Everybody got out safe. There was some property that got damaged. Nobody got killed. And we remained the next couple of days up there doing proactive patrols for anti-looting, stuff like that. As far as cases over here in Bloomington that I can think of, I know we did one regarding a shooting right here off of Cedar and Slover, more or less. 911 call, subject reported being shot in the arm. Deputies were in the area. They got there within minutes, provided medical aid for the victim, evacuated the surrounding area, located the suspect, detained him, and we served a search warrant there and recovered multiple firearms, ammunition, assault rifles, stuff like that. So that one worked out well. We did another one here in Bloomington at a church off of, what street was that, Linden? I'll let Deputy Rodriguez touch more on that.
Reference that assault that occurred at the church. It was on the northwest corner of Linden and Santa Ana Avenue. There was a local gentleman that, under the influence, broke into the church, and when the pastor arrived, he assaulted him. They were in a little fight before he was able to give us a call. When we were arriving, the gentleman under the influence was running out of the church. He was detained and he was arrested, and he admitted to the whole thing. And I think it was all due because he was so high. He believed that he was there cleaning up the church, and he was in his rights to be in the church. So he was taken to jail, to San Bernardino, and booked. That's it.
So we get a lot of those types of calls. If you guys come across anyone in your neighborhood, your residents, or if you see someone driving by, stay somewhere it's safe. 911, stay on the phone if you can with dispatchers. Provide a description of the subject, what he has, and we will be there very, very quick as soon as we can. Whenever it comes to anything where somebody's injured or somebody is going to be injured, we will expedite and get there as quick as we can without causing traffic collisions or getting ourselves hurt as well. Okay. What else? What else? I think that's it. It's been a busy month. I say that every month because it's something always jumps out. But we appreciate you guys. We're here for you. If there's anything else we can do, get a hold of us, okay? Real quick, questions from our citizens. Anybody? I thank you for your time.
Any questions for Sergeant Ruiz? MAC members? Yes, sir. That's, no, not this evening, sir. But that's totally off what we're on right now. But no, no, that's going to be heard at a later date. I'm sorry, Sergeant Ruiz. So just a quick question. You mentioned, officers being accosted in traffic stops and that type of thing. Do you guys roll out individually, or you got a lot of ground to cover, or do you have two deputies to a car?
No, San Bernardino County Sheriff's is a one-man unit, day or night. I know other agencies at night, they roll 2 per car. For us, it's just 1. It's always been that way. We're used to it, but that doesn't mean we don't use proper tactics. We work well with other officers, other agencies, and we get through whatever we come across safely. And that our main concern is obviously protecting the public.
Okay. And I'm very glad that, the MAC's been working hard to bring more revenue into the community to provide for more deputies. So at least you don't have to go as far for a backup. We have more deputies in the community. It's going to be a big plus. So I thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Okay. Thank you, Sergeant. We're good. Thank you. Okay. Our next presenter this evening is County Fire Department. All right, County Fire is not here this evening, so we'll move on to Code Enforcement. Do we have Nacho or anybody else here from Code Enforcement? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Philip Salazar, Code Enforcement Supervisor for our Valley team and the Fire Hazard Abatement Program. Just a couple updates for the Bloomington region. So we have selected a code enforcement officer to be assigned full-time to the Bloomington region. His name is Guillermo Morales, and he's one of our senior code enforcement officers. And by senior, I mean in terms of experience and knowledge. So he's very familiar with basic code enforcement protocol, the Bloomington region, and he's been team leader for a lot of our enforcement teams, such as our illegal vending team, off-highway vehicle enforcement, and waste tire enforcement. So he's transitioning right now into Bloomington full-time. So he should be out at our next meeting and you'll be able to meet him. Another update, we'll be conducting our fall fire hazard abatement inspections sometime this month. So if there's any problem properties in your neighborhood, problems with combustibles, please let us know, even if it's in the backyard, so we can make sure and address those problems. And I think those are the only major updates I have right now. Do you have any questions?
And
You can reach out to us and we'll research it if it's something that the property owner ultimately has responsibility for, or if it's something that the county Public Works Transportation has responsibility for. But if you contact us, we'll research it. Sure.
Okay, thank you. MAC members, questions? Oh, I'm sorry, somebody else out there? Roxanne?
I live off Naylor Street, in the middle, all of a sudden, one weekend, we ended up with another batch of trailers. Refrigeration units, if this is a conditional usage property, are they allowed to put refrigeration units to run their phone night long?
If it truly is a property that has a conditional use permit, yeah, that's not something that is part of the permit. They're not allowed to run the refrigeration units on site.
Okay, we have some. And also, we need to know, if there's several on our street, I would like to know if this is a legal one or if it's a conditional use. This place is running 24/7 now, and these drivers are coming 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, running down our street and then just flying on the brakes. Stop, get in there.
Yeah, even if it is a permitted truck terminal, there are regular business hours of operation where those are the times that they should be coming and going from the property. There shouldn't really be activity at midnight. So if you can get us the address, then we'll look into it. Yeah, and actually that's something that the officer assigned to Bloomington, he will be proactively looking at the truck terminals. So, but it doesn't, if you have the address, you can just give it to us so we can make sure and look at that.
All right. MAC members, any other questions or comments for code? Okay, Phil, thank you. We had a good meeting last month, ad hoc committee meeting. I've had several calls from residents, and I won't go into the details, and for time, to save time here, we can address it at the ad hoc, but here's what I've heard just since we met. Vendors blocking sidewalks, which is illegal under ADA, not providing disability access for people. Residential properties holding, paying events like raves and charging admission and charging for parking. Residential property holding car auctions and swap meets on residential property. And also someone else called me about a marijuana dispensary on Cedar Avenue that's openly advertising with signage right on the middle of Cedar. I don't know, maybe that's a sheriff's issue, but
yeah, that's our issue as well. So it's something, of course, that's an illegal land use that we need to look at.
And that's all comes from people that have contacted me in the last month in the community.
Okay. Yeah, just to comment a little bit on the illegal vending, it's the officer assigned to Bloomington. He will work closely with the deputy. So it'd be Deputy Rodriguez and the other deputy assigned to, first they're gonna pay some educational visits to all these vendors, and then step it up once the new ordinance is passed, then they'll move it up to enforcement. And of course, that will be part of what they're addressing. Creating any type of traffic hazard or blocking ADA access.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving along, our next presenter is Special Districts, Aaron Spear. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Sorry, mic's a little low. Good evening, everyone. Bloomington Park and Recreation, I guess that's, when you hear special districts, we're Bloomington Parks and Recreation. Just so you know one from the other, they're both the same, but you have a park district in this community. And so when you hear special districts, we're under them governing wise. First, we have a lot going on right now. It's really exciting times for this community and for me personally, watching our district grow. We're really proud of it. But we couldn't do that without the new supervisor's help, or the Little League's help, or the Olive Branch's help. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for your assistance. There's no way that I can do the things that I'm doing right now, or we can get the park looking the way we're looking without your help. So thank you. As you guys saw the pictures earlier, Field 2 is underway. It's getting an inner infield. So the Little League will have 2 very nice 11, 12, 8, 9, and 10 baseball fields there. Their facelifts are going to be, they're well needed, and they're going to look great. Field 1 looks great, and Field 2 is right behind it. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a park guy. I just love to see the start of it to the finish of it. And it's, if you get to cruise by the park, it's kind of cool to watch where it is now and where it's going to be in just a few short weeks. So it's hoping to be done mid-October. We'll see how the weather goes and see if we can overcome any obstacles along the way. But that's what we're shooting for, right for the fall Little League baseball season. So should be exciting. We are currently hiring a park maintenance worker 1. That's big for us. That means our parks, our 2 parks that we're going to have 2 full-time maintenance workers, and we've never had that before. We've had 1 and a part-time, or we've had 2 part-times, but we've never had 2. And so by, March next year, we'll have 2 full-time workers, which is, with all the amazing stuff that's going to be happening at Kessler Park and New Ayala Park, which if you haven't had an opportunity, please cruise by Ayala Park. It's also very fun watching that grow into what it's growing into. Anyway, we're going to have 2 maintenance workers that will be working full-time, and it's just going to make our situation there, make our parks better for the people that use them, for Little League and the Olive Branch and all the other programs that we're going to run in there. It's going to be a great thing for our district. We're also, I'm not sure if it's up yet, but it will be up any second, is our office coordinator. When we get the new park district building, which it's kind of funny, we're a park district with no building right now. We've been that way for quite a long time. I've hopped from the sharing space with Angela down at the Olive Branch to Old Ayala, which is a whole other ball of fun in itself, all the way down to hospitality. So I've kind of bumped around, but in about 6 weeks or less, the district will have its very own, very professional, very beautiful district office, as well as community center. And I cannot wait for customers and community members to come see it and to see what we're going to be offering out of there. It's going to be really amazing. Oh, so where I was going with that is we are hiring an office coordinator. So if you know somebody, especially if they speak Spanish, have them apply. It's going to be a fun, exciting position, and we look forward to getting that person on staff. This past month, we had our 2nd movie in the park. We had 2 movies in the park this year. And again, a huge thank you to the Olive Branch and the Little League. They're out there. Olive Branch provides the screen, and we provide the sound. And then the Little League's doing the snack bar, and they're pulling people all over the community. They're reaching people that I probably couldn't reach, and we're averaging about 150 people there in an event, and we've been blessed with really beautiful nights. It's been kind of cool. The last one was a little shaky. We had a little wind, but the wind, it's like, God knew we were having a movie and let the wind go. And I love those nights because you just get to sit back and watch people enjoy themselves with their families. It's really cool. This past Saturday, we had our first concert in the park here in Bloomington, at least the first one that I've done. I don't know if there's been others, but the first one that I've done, everything was awesome except for it wasn't well attended, which could have been the weather, could have been COVID, could have been the heat, could have been all the above. But we had a water slide play area, we had a bounce house, we had an amazing band. The sound people that did our sound and our stage looked beautiful. We're going to do this again. We're not giving up. These are going to be amazing events in Bloomington that the public will get to cherish and enjoy. But we're going to change a couple things up, and we plan to do 3 or 4 of them next summer. So as long as we can get the fundraising for that going, we're going to have a nice concert series, and I think it's something that Bloomington could be proud of moving forward. Again, thank you to the Little League and the Olive Branch for, again, They're a big help, and I'm saying thank you a lot, but I really mean it. I couldn't do it without them. Iowa Park, Old Iowa Park, as we call it. It does have, the front building is doing vaccines. And I tell you guys this because I get 100 calls a day on it because somehow they got my number, and that's fine. The front building does vaccines. The back building does COVID testing. And I got to tell you that the staff over there is really organized, and it's a good thing for Old Iowa Park because it's put pressure on the vagrants to either move it down the road or to go wherever they go, and it's kept the vandalism down. So we appreciate having them there, and I think they appreciate being there. And the public, has a place in Bloomington where it's clean and safe, and a great place to go to if you're in need of one of those two things. So yeah, they just started doing testing in the back building. They were under a park gazebo for a while, but now they're in the back building, and it's no appointment. You can just show up and get your vaccine or your test, your test. I'm pretty sure because I know I'm ordering signs for it, that the park will be closed. So the biggest fan of that is me. So, and that's because the new park will be opening soon. So closing Old Iowa Park is just it's a maze of every day is a different adventure over there. So we're happy about that, and we're happy to get to the new park. New Iowa Park. Well, this is about as good a news as you can get. I know I reported last, and I noted so did Assembly. The Assembly Reyes' team reported that we got another $1.5 million from them, which is huge because when we did all that going to the schools and finding out what the community wanted, there was 3 types of parks. There was a park, there was a nice park, and then there was a platinum park. Well, without that $1.5 million, we were going to get a nice park. But now we're because of that, we're getting the platinum park. And the only bad thing is that it's slowed us down a little bit construction-wise, so we won't be able to get in there as quick as we thought. But the building, which doesn't mean the building's different, so it's awesome. The park is going to look beautiful, and it's going to be super exciting for the people on that side of the freeway that they have a park they can go to. So we're excited. It's just we have to be just a tiny bit more patient because they're adding more to it. So, which is a good thing. Youth soccer starts tomorrow. It's got the most kids it's ever had, which I can't believe it in this transition where there's not really a place to go and sign up. We've done it all through email and phone, and the Olive Branch helped me and the Little League helped me. And we have 144 kids playing youth soccer this year, which is a huge number for us. We've had 80, we've had 90, and I think we got to 115 one time, but 144 in this scenario that's a great number. And it starts tomorrow. There's 16 teams. So every Saturday, Kessler Park's going to be rocking because we'll have youth soccer. We'll have fall youth Little League baseball, and probably other things that I'm not even thinking of right now. So Kessler Park, I mean, if you get to go down there, you're going to see a lot of cool stuff happening over the next 12 to 18 months. So, I mean, and a lot of stuff that's happening right now, like, Field 2 and whatnot. So it's a great time to be in Bloomington and to be a resident here. Co-ed softball. Well, there you go. Friday nights, we're going to have co-ed softball down at Kessler Park. So we're going to be Friday night co-ed softball and Saturday night youth soccer and the Little League. So again, a lot going on. And then flag football, we're just putting the banners up now. We'll be going out to the schools for that. We're going to try and grow our flag football program, and that'll start in later fall and get done right before Christmas. Before the meat of December. So we're super excited about that. In between that, we have Halloween coming up, which you'll want to get in touch with Angela or Teresa from Little League or me. We are looking to do another trunk or treat at Kessler Park. We want to have the biggest one we've ever had, so which means we need more cars. We get the people, trust me, the people come. We just need more cars handing out candy. So I'll have more information at the next MAC meeting about that, and that'll also be going out to our schools. I think that's all I got. Do you have any questions? Yes.
So I have a few. I think you mentioned the concert was not well attended. Personally, I think for people that don't have kids in school, maybe some more advertising would be beneficial. And then where can we find information on all of the resources, all of the recreation and leisure services for Bloomington online? Or is there a quarterly brochure that you guys put out?
There's a brochure that we put out that again goes to the schools and is on our website. Our district office will be opening very soon, so we'll get way better at being able to be reached, in person, or there'll be a face to our organization. It's Bloomington Rec and Park .org.
And then I know you said there was 2 movies this summer.
Yes.
Has there been any effort to perhaps do or reach out to local businesses for sponsorships to offer more than 2 throughout the summer? Because it's a long summer, but I'm sure families would really appreciate that.
Yeah. Because of the help and the assistance we get from the Olive Branch, if there's more people coming to the movies, we'll do more movies. There's no nothing holding that up other than we just don't want to overdo the program to where it gets to a point to where it's not attended the way the 2 are. But yeah, if there's a need, we'll add more for sure.
Yeah, I think just the fact that summer's at least 3 months, right? So there could be at least 1 a month. I think that would be beneficial.
Sure.
And then what volunteer opportunities do you have available for residents who want to get involved?
I have plenty of volunteer opportunities. We're looking for still at this point, even though we have 16 teams, that doesn't mean we have 16 youth soccer coaches. So that there's plenty. If you like working with kids, there's plenty to do for sure. And I'll give you my card after this, but my number's sprayed all over our banners all over town. And if you can get a hold of me through the MAC or through the Olive Branch, through Little League. And then very soon our district office, where we'll be 5 days a week. No problem. Any other questions? Yes?
Since you speak so highly of Kessler Park, and I agree it's a great park, how is your department working with or talking about or getting the word out about this proposed business park that will butt up right against Kessler Park and wipe out a lot of houses there? How is your park dealing with that or helping people get informed of all that?
To be honest with you, ma'am, I don't have enough information to make an intelligent comment on about that. That would probably be something more directed at the MAC and the 5th District's team.
Well, if it's going to affect your department being right up against one of your parks.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. With all the things I have going on, if it's being affected, I don't know about it yet. Any other questions?
Okay. MAC members, any questions for Aaron? Teresa has a comment. Go ahead, Teresa.
I just wanted to say thank you to Aaron for everything that he's been doing at Kessler Park and everything that he is doing with Ayala Park. You've been working very hard, and I just want to say personally, I'm very proud of everything that you've been accomplishing there. It's been great to really see so much activity at the park. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Thank you. I mean it. Thank you. And I swear I couldn't do it without you two ladies. There's no way.
I think I know the entire MAC concurs. Your work at the Parks and Recreation District has been a real success story for our community. And you've done a remarkable job, and we really appreciate you. And that's the type of community work we need. Bring people together. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. And I, in a non-arrogant way, you guys haven't seen anything yet. Once we get that building open, and we get just even a tiny more bit of staff, and we really once people really know that what we're doing, there's going to be plenty more opportunities to do a lot more cool things for the community.
I just have one more quick question before you get away? Sorry, you had a comment? Okay. The old Ayala Park, do we have any kind of a timeline? And also, what are we doing with our memorials and statues there? Are we going to be moving into the new Ayala Park?
Those are real good questions. Let me answer the second one first. The memorials are down. They've been down for quite a while because they're getting cleaned up, and those exact memorials are getting installed at the new Ayala Park. You know, we didn't want to. The people that did that, you know, it meant a lot, and it means a lot to me. I mean, we didn't want to not handle that properly, so we took them down and we had them professionally re-cleaned and done. They're in a safe spot, and they're awaiting their new space at New Ayala Park. The timeline with closing it, like I said, I know that I've ordered the signs, so I know we're close on that. It really comes from upper management at the county on the timeline of that and how that goes. But I can see the summit.
Okay, and as far as future uses, is that also, that's a question for the supervisor staff, or do you have any idea what the
We're not
park will be
renting.
repurposed as?
We're not renting Ayala Park. The vaccine people are there every day, Monday through Saturday, and they're there from 10 to 6. And they have their stuff in there. So it's not like once they're out, we can rent that at night. Plus we just, it's one of those things where I don't want someone to have their birthday party there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Thank you. Okay. Larry, you got anything? Okay. You good? Okay.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Colt Joint Unified School District, School Board Member Israel Fuentes. Good evening.
Good evening, Vice Chair and MAC board members and the audience. My name is Israel Fuentes. I am a school board member with Colton Joint Unified School District. And I just want to welcome each and every one of you to our boardroom. The Board of Education wanted me to announce that and let everyone know. This is the boardroom. This is where Colton meets currently. In 2023, we will have a brand new boardroom. Not in this area. It'll actually be in Colton, out on Washington Ave. And so look out for that. State-of-the-art room, everything up to date. But for today, this is where we have our meetings. And while I'm on that, I'd like to invite each and every one of you to our board meeting tomorrow. It starts at 5:30 here at our boardroom. First of all, we're on our 4th week of school. So kids are excited still. They're having fun. They're enjoying coming back to school. I see a lot of kids commenting to me, telling me, I'm glad we're back. There's a couple issues. We're not perfect, but there's a couple things that we're still trying to tweak and get rid of and take care of. But kids are excited. I'm excited to see our kids back there. So as I walk the halls and I see the kids, I get fist bumps. I get high fives. Hi, Mr. Fuentes, hi this and that. So I'm excited to see the smiles and to see them out there enjoying each other and all of that. Also, if you want more information of some of the items that we are doing at our school district, such as the COVID procedures, just in case a student gets COVID, please, you can visit our website and we have all the information available there on our website on the procedures that we follow. Or if not, you can call your local school and speak to either the nurse or our health assistant there, and they will give you the information necessary that you need. And that's all I have this evening. I don't have very much to say, just that we're back. We're excited. Welcome and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Fuentes. Okay, MAC members, any questions? Okay. Board Member, I'd like to thank you. Please extend our appreciation to Superintendent Frank Miranda and Facilities Director Owen Chang for allowing us to use your facility. It's a big upgrade. It's nice to have microphones, podiums. I'm sorry, give us one moment. Okay, I'll get, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. And I appreciate you, the district allowing us to use this facility. It's really an upgrade from where we've kind of been meeting and great appreciation. So please pass that along, okay?
I will do that.
I have
Yes,
a question from the public.
Yes. I don't know the numbers currently right now. I know we've had some kids testing positive for COVID, but I do not have the percentages or the numbers currently with me. If you'd like, let me have your information and I can get back to you and give you all that information. Thank you. That it? All right.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks.
board member. Okay, next up, West Valley Water District, Board Member Greg Young. Good evening, Greg.
Good
Welcome.
evening, Gary and the MAC members. Good evening, everyone. My name is Greg Young. I'm a board member on the West Valley Water District. And thank you, Board Member Fuentes, for keeping it under 45 minutes today. Just kidding. I'll just be really brief. A couple months ago, I let the MAC and the community know about a earmark that Congresswoman Norma Torres's office was pushing to help get funding for the Bloomington Alleyway project, which is one of the projects we're currently working on in the Bloomington area, down in the Crestmore Numbered Streets area, moving the connections from the old alleyways to the street side. That's been a 5-phase project because it's a very expensive project to move all those service lines. But I did want to announce today that the Congresswoman actually was successful in securing that funding, which is going to help us fund the third stage of that project. So we're greatly appreciative of her efforts, and she actually, during her August work period, actually came to Bloomington, and myself and President Channing Hawkins and district staff actually gave her a little tour. We were down there on 11th Street there, which was a lot of fun. So I really appreciate her taking the time out of her busy schedule to come and see the issues firsthand in Bloomington. And I just want to, again, thank her for her efforts to secure the funding to help us complete this important project for the residents down in that section of Bloomington. And I just wanted to keep you all informed on that. And if you have any questions related to water or anything, I'll be here for a little bit longer, or if the MAC members have any questions, but that's about all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions for our West Valley Water rep? MAC members? No? Okay. And Board Member Fuentes had a quick follow-up comment. Go ahead, Board Member.
Yes, I just wanted to acknowledge our IT guys that are actually leaving here right now, but they've been here helping us out with the technology part of it here from Colton Joint Unified. I want to thank both Stevens here for being here. We had another gentleman here earlier, but I just want to acknowledge them and thank them for being out here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you, Board
much.
Member. Thank you. Thanks for being out here. Appreciate that. Okay, that's the end of our staff presentations. Next item on the agenda is informal presentation. And
Gary,
Adam, I don't-
can I say one more? I
I'm
forgot
sorry.
my helper out there that's cleaning the tables and making sure the chairs were up. I don't recall your name, but I want to thank you. Also, he's part of our team out here at Colton Joint Unified School District. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, thank you, guys. All right, informal presentation. I don't believe we have any. Is that correct? Okay. All right, moving along, then we're going to talk about our ad hoc committee reports, code enforcement. Myself and MAC member Santoyo sit on that. We had a good meeting, a first meeting with Philip, who you met earlier. He's our new code enforcement chief in Bloomington, another additional position that we have. We discussed a variety of issues that you've all heard about before, house parties, street vending issues, trucking, illegal trucking in residential neighborhoods, dog fights, cockfights, house parties, you name it, it was addressed. So the county has assured us that they are actively working on these issues. They're going to be bringing some ordinances forward to regulate street vending in the near future. And they're going to continue to work on the trucking issues and the other issues that were brought forward. So that's my report on that. Next up, we have business recognition, which is MAC member Angela McLean and MAC member Teresa Escoto. Ladies.
Okay. So we currently have a business that we're going to acknowledge, and we will, it's on, and we will invite them for the next MAC meeting.
Okay, thank you. So you've selected one?
Yes, we have selected a business, yes, in Bloomington.
Okay, and you'd like to tell the community how they could participate in that process if they'd like?
Okay, so if you would like to get into the process is, if you know of someone in the community, a business, or just someone that you know that helps out the community, you can submit them as a request for a business or a person who has done something, outstanding in the community, whether it be helping you out in some kind of area or volunteering in the community, or helping a neighbor. You can acknowledge them through the MAC, and then we can go from there if you have somebody that you want to, present. Right?
Okay, thank you. So we'd
Yes.
like community